Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boys Mike and Mish with the Mike and Mish Show. And guess what? We are live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are on site at the Fighter Hotel. They're doing the weigh-ins right now. We are here for Knucklemania 3. Shit's getting wild out there. There's a lot of people weighing in, a lot of noise, a lot of fun. And Mike and I just decided that it's time to go live. We're going to get some people through here today, starting off with some GOAT Combat Agency fighters that are going to be making the walk to the squared circle in 2 weeks, Mike? Is that 2 weeks from now?
I think it's next week, man.
Oh, just a week away. In New Orleans, it's gonna be the Alan Belcher, Arnold Adams card down there. And before we bring our first guest on, who's in the weight room right now, let's just shout out all our sponsors real quick. We got some new sponsors that we're gonna shout out real quick. We got Condemned Labz, dude. Condemned Labz supplement company is they're all over the place. They're sponsoring everybody. They got badass clean products. They're just jumping on board right now. We don't really have a read for them yet, but go to condemnedlabs.com, buy some stuff, get big. There's their logo right there. These guys, you'll see their logo on all kinds of fighters. Who do we had Pitbull, Jeremy Pitbull Smith was wearing one of their shirts. Big Ben Rothwell was wearing one when he came on. Shout out to those guys. Thank you for jumping on board. If you go to condemnedlabs.com and use the promo code Mike and Mish, you can get 10% off of your purchase there. We got Norcom Mortgage, our Norcom Mortgage company. Those guys are the ones to go through if you need any loans or any you need to refinance your home. Hit up Mike Mish. Link and all that stuff. The phone number and everything is in the description of the video. We got another one. What's Poppin' Popcorn, a new company. They're getting on board. Bareknuckle corn snacks is like their bare knuckle. What do you call it? Like a specialty. They got like a special set just for bare knuckle fighting, and they got all kinds of flavors. Crazy flavors, cotton candy, chocolate, caramel, anything you want, you can get there. Go there, buy some of their stuff. And Guerrilla Warfare Apparel. Of course, we have guerrillawarfareapparel.com. Go there, use Mike and Mish as a promo code, get 15% off your purchase there. And our last one, we have the BKBetShark. You guys have seen this guy all over Instagram. Go to @BKBetShark on Instagram, give him a follow. And if you want some want some advice, he gives some free advice on his Instagram page, but then he has a paying product, a paying subscription where you can go on there, get some recommendations to make yourself some money on bare knuckle fighting. This guy knows the sport. He has a really high winning percentage as far as bets go with BK fighting, and we're happy to have him join the team here at the Mike and Mish Show. Mike, what's up?
Well, I'm over here trying to get everything shared out to the world so people can get to know these fighters that we're going to be talking to right now. And then we'll hopefully have some nice special guests pop on here. They are all weighing in for Knucklemania 3 right to my right through this wall. And we're going to go out, we're going to get some of them and bring them on. So it's going to be a good, fun, crazy episode.
Yeah, we just saw Luis Palomino walk by with his belt and his entourage right there. Everyone's right over there. So without further ado, let's start off with our first guest of the evening. He's calling in. We're going to get him. He's going to be fighting next week in New Orleans against Duke Sensley. We're going to get GOAT combat fighter Joseph Creer. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Joseph.
Joseph, can you hear us?
How you doing? Yeah, I can hear you well.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all right. Yourself?
We are good. We're down here in Albuquerque for Knucklemania 3, and stuff is really starting to pick up around here. So we got a lot of things going on. But we wanted to do a live show with you and a lot of the guys that are coming up on this card next week because it's just a week away. And we don't want to be talking to you Wednesday or Thursday night when you're, in the middle of a weight cut and, bothering your fight week here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're making your debut for BKFC in New Orleans next week. Where are you from? What's your background?
I am I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I currently live in Columbus, Georgia. I was in the military. I served for 14 years, 16 if you count when I was in the reserves. And when I got out of the military, I decided to stay right here in Columbus, Georgia. And myself and a couple of my business partners and friends, we decided to open up a gym down here, and the gym's been open now for 9 years. Yep. And
Nice.
more of my background is I'm a first degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Uh,
Wow.
I'm a Muay Thai crew instructor. Uh, I was an amateur boxer, and I'm currently a professional boxer. I have 9 professional MMA fights. 10 professional MMA fights.
Wow.
I was signed. I'm currently out of contract, but I was signed with Bellator. I had 4 fights with Bellator. 3 of them were actual televised Bellator fights, and one of them was a regional fight with the Monster Super Fight Series in in Atlanta, Georgia. And that is free. And I was combative instructor in the Army, but that really doesn't mean too much.
Nice. So we got
Yeah.
multiple questions off of that intro right there. First of all, you mentioned it. You were Army. That was your
Yeah.
All right. So Mike and I are both Army. We're
I was in
full-time
the
National
Army,
Guard.
United States Army.
Yep. Nice. Thank
Nice.
you for your service.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Mike and I are still
Thank you for yours.
currently in. Yeah, thanks, man. That's cool though. You're a combatives instructor, of course. You know what's funny is like I try to get like when I was first sergeant of my last unit, and I would always want to do like jiu-jitsu seminars or get some combatives guys in there to do some stuff, and like our command was always so scared that someone was going to get mad. Get hurt. They'd be like, "Oh no, too much of a liability. We can't be doing that stuff." So, yeah, that always aggravated me.
Yeah.
You said you fought for Bellator. Did you ever fight up in Mohegan Sun? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Did you ever fight up at Mohegan Sun for Bellator?
Yeah, I fought in Mohegan Sun 3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
No way.
Twice.
That's 10 minutes from.
Twice in Connecticut. I got cut in Connecticut twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mohegan Sun's right down the street from my house, for real. I used to go to Bellator all the time over there. It's a great spot. They have a nice little hub there. Yeah, it's great. Now you're fighting Duke Sensley.
That's really cool.
Are you familiar with your opponent?
I saw, I guess, his last bare knuckle fight with you guys when he fought I think his name is Labz.
Yep.
And I saw a couple of his MMA fights that I found on YouTube or whatever. He's a tall guy like myself. He's a southpaw like myself, but he likes to switch stance. And he's powerful. So, yeah.
What brought you over to the bare knuckle world? What makes you want to make that change? It's always, I always wonder that, like, hey, what makes the change? Did you see the sport and go, you know what, that is the rawest form of combat that I think I can get into right now. Fastest growing combat sport. I need to put my name on the map over there.
No, it's not about making a change. I just feel like specifically being a martial arts instructor and like living the martial arts lifestyle, you want to attempt to try every facet of it. And I've competed in professional Muay Thai. I competed in professional boxing, professional MMA, and this is like the newest thing, professional bare knuckle boxing. And outside of jiu-jitsu and everything like that, I was like, okay, I'll throw my hat in the ring there. But 2 of my friends, they've competed in bare knuckle as well. Tim Hester, he made his debut last year sometime, I forget when, maybe June or July, I'm not sure. He's one of my guys. I trained him.
Oh, okay.
And like he became last year in 2022, he made his professional MMA debut with B2. And then in July, a couple of months later, he made his professional bare knuckle debut with BKFC. I forget the name of the guy he fought, but he won by unanimous decision. And And then everyone in the world knows this person. A good friend of mine is Felony Charles Bennett. And he's done 3 or 4 bare knuckle boxing matches with you guys. And he's done like the Game Bread, FC, bare knuckle MMA and stuff like that. And I met him, I had to be 2 or 3 years back now. And he started training with us during the British kid, the British guy.
Tyler Goodjohn.
He got robbed. He got robbed, by the way, when he fought the British kid.
Tyler Goodjohn. Yep.
That's when he started training with us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tyler Goodjohn. And like, I just noticed, when I was there with the guys, I was like, okay, this is something I can get into. I had to ease myself into it. And I said, okay, I see how this works. And so put my hat in the proverbial ring in order to continue to compete.
Well, I'm looking at I'm taking a look at your bio right now. You have an impressive ass record for sure. Like you and Scott Farley told us that you're a killer, and I believe him now. You only got a couple losses on your record. One of them is to Austin Vanderpage. That's and then Andrew Capel. Now, where do you see how far do you see yourself going in bare knuckle? Is this something that you're trying out right now and going to be focusing more on still training people in your gym, or is this something that you want to pursue for sure?
No, I that's my baby is the gym, so I've got to keep coaching regardless. And but I will say this, and I'll be forthright with you guys. I have all intentions of becoming the light heavyweight champion of the BKFC, but I'm still going to be fighting actively in Muay Thai and MMA and boxing every time they give me a fight. You see, when I turned 41 in December, and when you start hitting those 40s, the phone starts ringing less and less. There's been a couple of Bellator offers. It's just we haven't been able to get matched. But BKFC, Scott specifically has been trying to get me matched now for at least 7 or 8 months. So thankfully, Duke accepted the fight with us, or I got offered to fight with Duke, however you'd like to however you'd like to think about it. But I'm very excited to be stepping foot in the ring one more time again. And I'm really excited to showcase what I can do, respectfully.
Well, man, you come with an impressive resume. Did you get your start late as far as like professionally fighting goes? Because like you said you just turned 41. I turned 41 in December as well, with the same age. But you have a 10-fight MMA record, but you didn't start fighting professionally till 2015. So what?
2014, 15, yeah, something like that. Army. I was in the military. So like I spent so much time in the military, and I deployed so much and everything. I got the interest in fighting. Well, I've always had it. Every kid has that interest in fighting. And like, my grandfather, he was a Golden Gloves champion. And where I'm from Detroit. Really, the only thing that was in Detroit was boxing. And then, like I said, I grew up, I started playing football, I started doing all this other stuff. And then I got lost in the streets for me, joined the military. And I remember combatives. When we did our combatives level 1 class, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I asked to do level 2 and then level 3 and then level 4. And but I knew even when I was learning those levels of combatives, I was like, this doesn't make me the toughest dude in the world just because I can beat a guy in a 3-on-1. But like then I started training with some jiu-jitsu practitioners. I started jiu-jitsu with Gracie Baja, and I met my Muay Thai coach, Crew Vantha, and then I met my primary boxing coach is a gentleman named Donnie Bellflowers. And I met those guys, and I believe I was 20 years old when I started training with the intentions of stepping foot in a cage or a ring. And then I had my first amateur fight at 28. So I was already older when I started. But I remember once I had my first fight, I told everybody I had to put my foot on the gas because I know I don't have a lot of time left. So the thing is, on the plus side, I don't have a lot of those battered and bruised years of fighting. All of my bruises and bumps come from military. So
I hear you there.
And then yeah. So
you got a similar your fighting background story is very similar. You're familiar with Neil Magny, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys are like the same size, same height, same build, everything. It's like you and Neil Magny kind of like took the same exact route.
Combatives, all that.
Yeah. He's a combatives instructor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. It's funny that you hear. I mean, you don't hear it very often. A lot of guys get into the combatives, getting into combatives in the military, but they don't pursue it afterwards. You and Neil Magny, that seem like rare stories.
Well, in the combatives world, there are like this little pocket society of combatives instructors who are actually aware of the MMA world. We've got a guy. I don't know if you guys seen him. He's in the PFL. His name is Brandon Sales. He's the guy. He's the guy that beat Kamaru Usman's brother. He beat Kamaru Usman's brother
Muhammad,
in the PFL fight. That's a friend of mine. His wife babysat my daughter the first 2 years of her life. And like that guy, to me, I remember when I first met him, when I first started in combatives, I used to look up to him. I was like, this he's a giant. I mean, he is a giant, by the way, but like the shadow of my friend Brandon was so great. And who else do we have? We've got Tim Kennedy. He was a combatives guy. And we've got
Brian Stan.
Names here.
I wonder if Brian Stan.
Colton Smith. I know Colton personally.
Colton Smith.
Yeah, Colton Smith. And Colton Smith was UFC. He won the Ultimate Fighter.
Yep.
Like we've got
World Series.
Neil Magny, like I said, we've got all of these guys. Yep, and he went to World Series of Fighting. We've got a little pocket of guys that have actually, transitioned very well into their professional fighting career. And it wouldn't be it for a lot of us if it weren't for combatives and Matt Larson. Maybe not any of us, we wouldn't have that opportunity. But
that is awesome. That's great to hear. Next week when you make your debut against Duke, what can the audience expect to see between you and him in the ring? Two tall lefties going in there doing their thing. Why should they pay attention to this fight?
You put me on the front street here. I mean, with me, it's very simple. You're going to see fundamentals at the highest level.
Fundamentals at the highest level. Can we expect a finish, an early finish? Are you going in there with the intentions on getting out of there as quickly as possible, or you gonna play it by ear and see how it goes?
I'm gonna play it by ear, but I've got some ideas.
Got some ideas. Awesome, man. Well, we're excited to see you in there. You and like 7 other GOAT Combat guys are going to be making their debut. Actually, now that I just thought of it, there's a title match. There's a title fight in your division tomorrow night at Knucklemania 3 between Mike Richmond and Lorenzo Hunt. You're familiar with both guys that are going to be
yes, I am.
tying up. What are your thoughts on the main event tomorrow night?
I mean, those are 2 very good fighters, and it's very exciting to see. I wish them both the best of luck, and I know regardless, I'll be seeing either one of those guys here pretty soon.
Well, you beat Lorenzo by rear naked choke, correct?
Who told you that?
I'm on your Tapology, so I saw it, and then I saw somebody else mention it in the comments. So I was like, I'm just going to bring it up now because he mentioned him. So I see it on there. Talk about that. Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about the main event tomorrow and your history with Lorenzo Hunt and what you think is going to happen there.
I really don't know what's going to happen. Like I've paid attention to the division, so I see the mountain that I'd have to climb, or the rungs on the ladder that I have to step on in order to get to the title opportunity. Both of these guys are very good fighters, and that should be an interesting fight tomorrow.
Who do you think takes it?
Yep.
Who do you think takes
I don't know.
You're not gonna give us a prediction. Come on.
No. I don't know. The person who gets their hand raised.
There you go. That's a good enough. That's a very diplomatic answer by you. Thank you for popping on the show tonight. Usually we would do Wednesdays and Thursday nights. It would be a longer forum, and we would play some games with you. But we just wanted to get you on here and get everybody that's paying attention to know who you are and know that they need to tune in next week, just a week out from the first BKFC event in New Orleans. So it's good to hear.
Cool, man.
We'll give you an opportunity right now to shout out some people if you want to do that right now, and I'll let you get on your way.
Well, of course, I'd like to thank Scott Farley and Goat Combat for giving me the opportunity to showcase my abilities. I'd like to thank Dr. Josh Lane of Lane Dermatology, because he's given me a lot of help organizing all of my advanced physicals at 41 years old. And Real International, because they make the gear at our gym. So I'd like to continue to shoot them out. And of course, First Roll Jiu-Jitsu, that's a friend of mine from the military. He owns First Roll Jiu-Jitsu. He makes high quality jiu-jitsu rash guards and gis and things like that. And of course, all the guys that helped me train in my gym, specifically Tim and Coop and Alex and Isaiah, Chance, and my boxing coaches, Coach Donnie Bellflowers and Coach Rick Carrillo. These guys are the ones that have been very fundamental in my training and getting my old ass back into shape. So I thank those guys for that.
Outstanding stuff. Thank you very much for coming on. We're going to be tuned in next week, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do in this 185-pound division for sure. Mike, you got anything else for him?
Yes, sir.
Man, I can't wait to see you fight next week. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So it's going to be Bareknuckle Paradise this month. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
you have
guys.
a good one.
I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming on.
You too.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go. A fellow Army guy. Another soldier. I love it. Did you notice that his background matched our background?
We planned that out ahead of time.
Yeah, it was
guys.
100% planned. Yeah, man.
Wood grain.
The wood grain. His record is very impressive. Joseph Creer. Man, I was looking at his MMA record. He's a savage for sure. And at 6'3", and he's at 41 years old. He's got what is known as motherfucking old man strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I bet. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's got the MFOMS. He's got the MFOMS for sure. That's a real thing. I trained with a guy back in the day that was 53 years old, and he can lift and do more than I could in the gym any day of the week. And I would say, I don't know how the fuck you do it, dude. He would say it's MFOMS. And I'd say, and then the first time he said that to me, I'm like, what the fuck is that? He goes, MFOMS, dude. It's real shit. It's motherfucking old man strength. Yes, it is. All right. We have another guest coming on right now. This dude's finally making his second walk to the BKFC squared circle. The first time we saw him out there, he was very impressive. The first time we talked to him, we knew him from like gypsy Bareknuckle fighting in the woods, wearing a kilt and doing crazy shit.
Getting wild.
But he went out there and he, how do you say that dude he fought's last name? Shugart? Frankie Shugart, something like that.
Yeah, Shugart, I think.
Shugart. He dispatched of that guy in his debut, and he's making his second walk next week, and he's fighting Blake Lacaze. And let's bring him on. His name is Brett Williams. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Welcome back.
Yeah, I know. Long time no see.
Where the hell you been, man?
Man, just living life, I reckon. No, I've been super busy working and just training and trying to put everything into this fight because I've been biting at the bit to get back in there in the squared circle.
Now, do you think that like we were just talking to Joe Creer, and he was saying that Scott was trying to find him an opponent for about 7 months before he can finally get him one. Do you think that you're one of those guys that people kind of like they like to fight, but it's safer to find someone else at this point instead of Brett Williams?
It's I mean, I'm not gonna hide anything, but I have screenshots of dudes that y'all are actually pretty familiar with denying to fight me. And the thing is these dudes would keep denying me, and then talk to my manager, Scott. I have just accepted everybody that they would put my way. Now, I have declined 2 fights only because they've got 20 years of experience on me. And the thing is just finding right matchups, because I've stated that it's not about rankings to me. It's not about being a champion to me. I just this is what I do. I don't have much else purpose other than bare knuckle fighting. You know what I mean? This is just my thing, and I just want to be active. And everybody just I say everybody. It was hard to get me a matchup as well. And Scott kind of lets me know the ins and outs of it. Respect to my opponent for accepting this one. And yeah, he would send me names and I'd be like, yes, yes, yes. Actually, I'm gonna let y'all know this. I accepted a fight at heavyweight on a 5-day notice for the Denver card. And that didn't fall through. But yeah, Scott was like, well, what do you think about this? And it's kind of last second. Heavy. Okay, sweet. I'm 5'9". I have a 67-inch reach. Sucks for this dude. And fight never.
Well, which fight who's the opponent?
I don't even.
Was it Josh Copeland, or was it one of those guys?
I'd have to get Scott to send me the name. I can't even remember. It's been so long, but I was kind of pumped for it because I was pretty chunky at the time, and I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I just got to show up in the mountains and fight this guy.
But you're a 175er, right? So I'm assuming you don't walk around much more than 200, right? Am I wrong assuming that?
It depends. When things in my life are going well and mentally, I'm on the path, I don't get over 200, but if it's in the summer and I'm doing a lot of coaching and I'm, having a good time and I have I'm not planning on fighting, I'll get up to about 215, 220.
Nice. Have you changed anything about the way you train after? I know that you did a lot of bare knuckle fighting prior to BKFC. We talked about it last time you were on the show. Once you got into you made your debut in the BKFC, you're fighting inside of a ring and not in the woods, and you were not wearing a kilt. You're wearing some shorts. But what did you talk about your experience inside the squared circle as opposed to what you were doing before, and what did you take from that fight that you implemented into your training going into anything forward?
So basically, the fight itself was no different than all my fights in the woods. I know how bare knuckles feel. I know how to block punches a certain way. I know, I've kind of gotten into my groove. I've had enough bare knuckle, proper fights, not, street fights. I've had proper bare knuckle fights enough to understand the dynamic and somewhat be comfortable with it. So the fight itself, with my debut in the BKFC, really wasn't much different. Now, what added to that, of course, was just how awesome it is to fight for the BKFC, all the exposure in the media and the lights and everything being so well ran, because I fought for other organizations and it was just superior to everything. So that, and also meeting people that are kind of I would, I don't want to say fanboy over with, but since I started watching the BKFC, seeing some of these guys, it's oh, they're right here in front of my face. This is awesome. This is literally a dream come true. So the experience itself was very different, but the fight and the dynamics of infighting, it wasn't no different.
You expected it to go down like that? Like it was so fast, I thought. And I don't know if that was like a disappointment to you that you train. I mean, obviously you'd be grateful to win so fast, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I trained all this time and then boom, you're out of there. And then, you have a little layoff going on after that. So
Yeah, which that layoff was not good for me at all. I kind of got in a rough spot mentally. But like everything went according to plan. And, the people that I work with, we work bare knuckle specific stuff at the time. And it all just kind of came together. And my punches are short, they're tight, they're right where they need to be. And it just landed. And the thing is like, I've told people before, and my amateur record speaks for itself. Like I'm a puncher. Like I've got like just raw power that I was born with. And the thing is, of course, it needs to land. But I knew if it would connect at the right spot and at the right moment, like, it's just, I knew that would happen. But my training now has changed drastically. So I talked about like kind of like fading off because I immediately wanted to get back in there. I'm like, we got this and this. National Geographic was following me. Like, I'm doing good. I feel good about myself. And, nothing came up. And I was, working out of town and living on the road. Like, that's what I do 3/4 of my life. And I was just getting really, really, really fat and not training. And I was just like really depressed because it's like I didn't have my outlet that I wanted, like the beach and coaching. I was in a bad relationship, list goes on, life problems. But I decided I got one of the best promoters in the game, Dean Toole, the guy that is doing crazy game card.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my boy, best promoter in the game. Well, I hit him up. And there was a previous game bred boxing card. And I was like, hey, I want to get in. I want to get in on this. I need to do something. And I had to lose like 33 pounds in 3 weeks. I wasn't training. I wasn't really doing anything, but I felt like my raw power would just get me through it. And I would just put him away if it landed. Well, what I didn't realize is my opponent was very game, very underrated. And he trained for the fight of his life, trained hardest he's probably ever trained in his life. And I showed up in there and was just like a ghost of myself. And we fought nonstop. We boxed nonstop for like 12 minutes. And, it was a very entertaining fight, but it came out to be a draw. And a lot of what I was doing, they were getting mad at me about, like, Flint, like underhook and overhook, and they were like, no, you can't do this. Mr. Athletic Commission were like, you need to stop. What are you doing? Like this.
Yeah, you're in that bare knuckle mode, but you have gloves on at that point.
Yeah, and it's very hard for me to transition. So after that draw, I was like, okay, well, I'm still going to do my bare knuckle stuff because I train like Greco-Roman wrestling. Like I've been doing that the last few weeks. Like I still train in Greco for bare knuckle boxing because that's what I did for so many years. But I moved camps with Roy Jones Jr.'s daddy, his boxers. And they are like the top boxers on the entire Gulf Coast, huge upcoming prospects who are also boxing on that same game bred card, Devin Cushing and Cade Howell. And I'm also training with Dylan Kleckler now as well.
Oh, nice.
So we're all in the same gym and just helping push each other. My new coaches, Mr. Major and Woodrow Cushion. We've added a lot of things to my game. It made me a lot slicker and not just so one-dimensional. So I'm excited to put everything in play.
Man, that's great. I mean, you hear that so often, like the break after a fight. I don't know if it's like a lot of people go through like the post-fight. I don't know if it's a post-fight depression or whatever. It's almost like coming home from a deployment and you get so set in your deployment ways and then you're back in the real world and you're like, fucking, what the fuck is going on right now with my life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you train so hard, you had that fight and then it's over.
Well, you put thing, especially like in my life, like this is just a part of my culture, bare knuckle fighting, and then everything goes into this one event, into this one fight, and everyone comes together for it, and then it just it takes forever to get here, and then it's quickly gone, and it can be tough. But I just wanted to stay active, and I didn't have an opportunity, but that draw was like one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I have been training like an absolute animal, hardest I've ever trained in my life. And it kind of removed that mindset of just like, oh, well, in worst case scenario, I'll just put them away. I'll just, yam one, put them out. So I don't think like that anymore. I'm thinking a lot more technically and like trying to be more skilled and stuff like that.
Well, it sounds like the crew that you're training with is a killer gym for sure. And with you having a fight coming up, and now we all know that Dylan Kleckler has a fight coming up with Josh Burns on the next Game Bread card. I'm sure it's like balls to the wall in that gym,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's awesome, man. We can't wait to see you back in there. Your opponent, he ran into a very tough Noah Cutter in his last fight, and it didn't go his way. What do you think about your upcoming opponent, Blake Lacaze?
Well, first off, I know he's game because he accepted the fight, and that's one thing. But my coaches have known of him for quite a while, because a lot in our gym we have a lot of top amateur boxers, and they would box over there in Louisiana and in different places. So they've known of him, and they would tell me stories and stuff. And of course, I watched that fight with Noah, and then I watched some of his pro boxing matches. And the thing is, like, he's very much a superior boxer, but I am much superior fist fighter for sure, and my upper body offense. So it's one of these things where it's going to be two different dynamics. I would assume he's going to try and do one thing, and I'm going to try and do one thing, and whoever can execute that is going to be victorious. But then again, I could surprise him and he could surprise me. But he's 6'7", and
I was just going to say that. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, he's
the dude's a tower for sure.
Well, I'm training with one of Pensacola's very own knockout kings / former Division I football player, Dakota Merritt, and a guy that hoping I can convince him to get into the BKFC as well. But he's same size, except he's 300 something pounds.
A little bit of a difference.
And that's who I'm drilling with, and that's who I'm doing all my sparring with. So it's not like it's completely foreign that he's super huge. It's just one of these things where I've always fought people bigger than me, taller at least, because I'm short and stubby. But yeah, what he brings isn't going to be, at least physically, isn't going to be different than what I'm using right now.
Got to get in there and work that Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? You got to get that Tyson going on the tall, lanky guy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Tyson, we were saying he's got to get here. We were talking to Austin Trout last week. Austin Trout's like, oh yeah, I talked to his brother and this and that. And we're like, dude, you gotta get him to BKFC. Can you imagine if Tyson is in the crowd watching BKFC? He's gonna fall in love, and then it's gonna blow up even more.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the most fan friendly combat sport there is right now. And I train with a lot of top amateur MMA fighters. I train with a lot of, big professionals. Like right here in Pensacola, Northwest Florida area, is just a huge scene for fighting in general. And like you say it all the time, like the BKFC, bare knuckle fighting in general is so fan friendly that, it's crazy to see where it'll be in 5-10 years.
I'm curious to see what it's going to look like tomorrow night in the Tingley Coliseum out here, because ticket sales are freaking flying right now, and
everybody in the area knows about it.
Yeah, we've been doing our rounds. We went around a few places, stopped at a couple bars and whatnot to drop off flyers and do a little marketing and stuff. And everyone knows about it. Half the people are going to it, so it's like shit. Last time we were in here in Albuquerque, the crowd was freaking insane over at the Rio Rancho Center. And now they're in a place that can hold like 4,000 more people. So I can't even imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like. Like you said, it's the most fan friendly audience. Like it when they get Brian Socha up in the ring doing his hype man thing in between fights, and they're tossing t-shirts out, and then the action starts, and then the action is top notch, pedal to the metal, bare knuckle action from start to finish every single fight. And then in between the fights, they don't let the energy in the room die down. They do such a good job keeping the fucking fans engaged the entire time. It's going to be awesome. And I wish we could be in New Orleans next week for your fight.
Well, at some point you'll be able to see me fight. Man, I am so stoked for that card tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the one fight that you really, really, really want to see?
Do I got to pick one?
You can pick two. Go ahead. What do you want to see?
Two fights in particular of the main event and Dodson and Grant.
Very good picks, huh?
Oh, Dodson and Grant. Yeah.
Well, the reason is because I have a deep appreciation for martial arts in general, and Dodson, the way that he strikes coming from MMA, I don't want to. And then you got Jared Grant, who's that pure boxer style, seeing how that dynamic plays out, because you saw what Reggie was able to do with just the collar tie, which they may call it something different, but we call it a collar tie. But you were seeing what he was able to do when he would get on the outside and control his neck.
Yeah. And
that's pure old school wrestling / old London prize fighting, which is what I competed in underground. And I think Dodson, the same formula, except he's a lot more explosive. He is that pure MMA athlete, and the way he can use the clinch, the way he can use the collar tie, I think is going to be if it goes the way I would imagine, it's going to be tough for Grant to deal with that. But I'm very excited to watch that fight in general, see how Grant bounces.
There's a lot of factors there. Jared's a bigger kid. He's younger, he's bigger, but he was also, I believe he was bulking up because he was going to take a fight at 145.
Oh, really?
Yes, and that didn't happen. So now he's going to take this fight at 125. Jared is stronger than he's ever been right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, can he match the speed and power of John Dodson? Let's admit, John Dodson is like the most powerful 125, 135 pound fighter like I think I've ever seen. The dude generates so much power and energy from his never stop moving fucking feet to his hands. The dude generates so much power when he lands. You saw it in his MMA career, knocking out TJ Dillashaw and other big names in there. And now he doesn't have the gloves on. He's got the speed, the power, the explosiveness. And it's and like you said, seeing how Jared bounces back from his first loss of his career against a guy like Reggie Barnett on Jared's probably worst night of his career. Like, he did not look like himself in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. Number one, I think this is almost everyone's number one is Hunt and Richmond.
Yeah. How does this play out, Brett?
Man, I'm fans of both, but I'll tell you this. Mike Richmond, since I saw him fight Marcel Stamps, and I was just like, fighting underground, and I was like, man, this is my dream to be in the BKFC. Mike Richmond has been my favorite fighter. Like, I don't think I could keep from fanboying if I ever got I have watched so much film on this guy, watched every interview, especially the ones he's done with y'all, like, because I just love his mindset, and I love the way he approaches fights. And then I've also got Lorenzo isn't my favorite fighter, but a lot of skills he brings is extremely impressive. And I think a lot of people underrate him, and they think he's just a super athlete, but he's got some serious skill, especially with counterpunching and his fight IQ in general. So, and back to Richmond, his fight IQ is through the roof. The way he's able to create fluidity. What you doing, Freezer? You say hey. The way he's able to fluidity, especially being so light on his toes. I mean, It's interesting. Man, I mean, I think it's going to be a spectacular fight. I don't know. I want to pick Richmond because that's just my favorite fighter, but I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think?
Here's my thing, and Mike, I'll let you go after in a second, but I don't think it is as much a David versus Goliath discrepancy like people are making it out to be. Mike Richmond is a stout, solid 185 right now. We saw him training yesterday. The weigh-ins are this morning. He looks phenomenal at 185 pounds right now, and the Juggernaut is he's no taller than Marcel Stamps or the dude that I can't remember his name right now, but Mike Richmond fought a guy overseas that was
and BKB. Yep.
Yeah.
And beat him. It's like Mike has ran into bigger guys most of his career. And when it comes to skill for skill, like you just said, I don't think there's a smarter fighter in BKFC than Mike Richmond. His fight IQ is top notch. And Lorenzo has been just kind of like perfecting the sport over his last 7-fight win streak. So I don't know who wins this fight. We don't do predictions anyway on this show, but I will say that I don't think it's going to be a one-sided affair at all. I think it's going to be a competitive war. And Mike, we actually, me and Mike went over to the Kirkland Air Force Base this morning, and we talked to the Marines over there for Mike Richmond, and we tried to see if we can get a group of Marines to come through and support Richmond tomorrow night, and it looks like we're going to have a little crew there for him. So,
oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, very cool. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. It does seem like it might. And he's a prideful fighter, dude. Mike, if Mike gets in there, he's going in there with the most animosity he's ever had for an opponent. And then he has his Marine Corps brothers out there. Maybe that kicks him into another gear, and he goes into God mode. I don't know. We'll see. Mike, what do you think?
I think it will be a competitive fight because a lot of people think Lorenzo will run through him. I've seen it all over the place. And then Mike's got his fair share of fans, but it's hard to pick through who is a fan of Mike Richmond, a fan of Lorenzo Hunt, or just a fan of the sport, and will go right down the middle and pick somebody justly, not like, oh, Mike's going to kill him. And then you look on their page and they got a bunch of Mike Richmond stuff on there. You know what I mean? Like, you need somebody to really break it down. But I don't think, can Lorenzo go in there and just end it? Sure. But if Mike goes in there and lands clean, he could end it too. So everyone has to kind of remember that. And I don't think that Mike Richmond's going to run in there and just forget all the fundamentals and then just be like, I don't know what to do, So I just don't see that happening, especially in this limelight. At the Knucklemania 3, he's not going to run in there and lose his friggin' fundamentals. So I think it's going to be competitive. He did fight at 135 back in Bellator, so he was a small guy. So by nature, he was a small guy, and he's already beat guys way up here. So he's got the power to do that, no problem. Lorenzo's explosive. He's going to bring the heat. So it's just about how Mike can come in and block and move and take some power. He's going to get some shots, but like Kyle said, and I think a lot of people know, like in the last fight, he wasn't up to par. He wasn't up to snuff like we've seen in the past, Mike Richmond, I'm saying. And, so I think he's really dialed in for this one. Lorenzo's absolutely always dialed in. So this is going to be a battle for the ages.
Hey, real quick, check out this guy right here.
Hey, what's up? I know that guy, Brad. What's up, brother?
This guy probably has a little insight on your upcoming opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's funny. Me and Noah have trained together, probably less than a handful of times. He's actually pretty local to where I'm at.
Yeah, he's saying that you guys train together and you guys are local to each other. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, he's going to go grab some food. He just got done weighing in. We're going to talk to him in a little while. Very cool, man.
What's up, Noah?
Mike's yelling from the other room. Brett, thanks for coming on here and breaking down this main event with us. That was fun. we cannot wait to see you. We watched all your footage, but we saw you in the BKFC Squared Circle, 7-8 months ago, whatever that was. That was back in June, maybe.
Yeah.
June. So it's been a minute. We can't wait to see you back in there. It's only a week away. We'll give you a minute to say some final words, shout anybody out that you want, and then we're gonna get you out of here so we can bring on Bobby Taylor and then keep this thing rolling. Okay, take a minute. Go ahead.
Man, I want to thank y'all for letting me get on here and rant and talk about the upcoming event, my fight, and then tomorrow's event as well, and just catching up with y'all again. I want to thank Colby Bridges with Project AMF. I want to thank Joe Adams with Relentless Pursuit. I want to thank Brad Bishop with Coupler app, and basically everyone else who's helped me, especially financially, for this camp, because it's like the first time I've taken it crazy serious, and it's taken a lot out of me in my personal life. But I can't wait to show you all the result next week.
We can't
wait. Can't wait to see the result, man. Good for you. Good for you. You got a whole new mind state, and I can't wait to see the result in the ring next week. Thank you very much for coming on, and we will be tuned in. Mike and I will not be there for that one, unfortunately, but we'll be watching for sure.
All right, sweet fellas.
Take it easy, bud.
Later, man.
Later.
Another wood grain background. I really enjoyed that. This is now 4 backgrounds that have wood grain. It's beautiful. But I think we're about to break the streak.
We're going to break the streak now. But, hey, we got another guest coming on in a second. Make sure you guys are checking on our new sponsors. Down in the description has all the links to everybody. Condemned Labz supplements. They're sponsoring all these fighters. They have badass products. Almost badass enough to make my ass want to get back in the gym and become a gym rat again. I want to get some of their stuff. Go there, use Mike and Mish promo code, and get a little discount on your purchase. What's poppin'? Popcorn, the Bareknuckle corn snacks. Thank you for jumping on. And of course, we have Guerrilla Warfare and Norcom Mortgage as always. But I wanted to say something before we bring Bobby Taylor on.
The BKBetShark.
BKBetShark. Yeah, I would love to hear from the BKBetShark on this event tomorrow night. Where are we supposed to put our money? If this dude's watching right now, go ahead. Don't feel free to inbox me some freebies. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, before we go on, before we bring Bobby Taylor on, I want to show everybody something. We had somebody reach out to us. His name is Gary Lang, and he fights to raise awareness for congenital heart defects because his daughter Catherine was born with half a heart. The left side of her heart was not developed. So this little girl has been through 3 open heart surgeries since she's been born. She's 5 years old right now, been through 3 open heart surgeries, and she's going to be needing a heart transplant at some point in her life and a liver transplant at some point in her life. She's an absolute fighter. Shout out to Gary Lang and his daughter, Catherine. Gary owns a print company here in Albuquerque. He brought us some tumblers. He made some mission accomplished tumblers for us. Very cool stuff.
Very cool.
And she got to meet Lorenzo Hunt last night. And I guess Lorenzo is her absolute favorite, and she loves the guy. And Lorenzo, I wish I had a picture. I have a picture. I just don't have it ready to pull up right now because I'm unprepared. But Lorenzo was super cool with this little girl. He put his championship belt on her, did a picture with her, and she gave him a tumbler. Now they have these tumblers. I don't know how much they cost, or I'll get a link to where you can purchase these. But all the money
proceeds.
that they make, all the proceeds go to children with congenital heart defects and the research that they need and any medical help that they need. So here's what I'm going to do. We'll do a giveaway for this one on Wednesday night's show. When we do a show on Wednesday, we'll come up with some sort of raffle or something. And the red and blue is, how every ribbon, there's like the pink for, there's yellow. The yellow ribbon is for the soldiers. The pink's for red and blue. Cancer, I did not know this. Heart health awareness is red and blue. So this is very cool. They have a bunch of them. They gave one to Lorenzo last night. He was super excited to get it from Catherine. So shout out to Gary Lang and Catherine. Keep on fighting. We're really proud of you, and we'll share all their information and links if anybody ever wants to reach out and say some kind words to them.
And buy some tumblers.
And buy some tumblers. Why the hell not? With that said, we got another guest coming on right now. And for everyone that doesn't know, we kind of like wung this live. We're
wung it, slung it.
Wung it, slung it. We're winging it. We're going. We're shooting from the hip. And all these guests were contacted within the last hour of us jumping on this live. And we wanted to give them all an opportunity to talk to you guys before they fight 1 week out from now. So let's bring him on. He is the co-main event. He's fighting James Lights Out Lilly on is it February 24th in New Orleans next week. Good Lord, this fight is awesome. I cannot wait for this one. ODB himself, Bobby Taylor, in the house. What's up, buddy?
Yo.
First
where's
of all,
your wood grain, man? Where is it? No one gave you the. Scott was supposed to tell everyone.
I didn't get the memo.
It's just so funny that we've had like 3 wood grain backgrounds already, and
leave it to me to break the streak.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. Just been training hard, ready for this fight.
Last time we saw you, we were in Orlando, and you took on a guy that a lot of people were like, man, he's gonna come in and he's gonna do great. He did good in BYB. He's gonna come over here. He's looking good, and I'm gonna tell you what, man. You made him not look good. Not that he's not good, but you made him not look good. You really did a great job in that fight, and we didn't get to talk to you afterwards. So I'm going to have to bring it back a little bit before we talk about next week and talk about that fight and how you prepared and went in there and did what you did. How did you feel about all that?
Man, I was real happy with the fight. Like I said, that was pretty much our whole game plan. We knew he had pretty good jab, and we were going to try to, move around, use his footwork, and stay away from me. And the whole camp, we just worked on the pressure and cutting off the ring and keeping him in front of me. And man, it just worked like it was supposed to.
If you hear some screaming, those are your coworkers in the background. All right, they're all screaming, and a bunch of animals over here.
Just a little while ago, when our first guest was on, when we had Joseph Creer on, Lorenzo and his whole entourage came through over here. And I know that Mike Richmond and his guys were sitting right outside this window here a little while ago. Sean and Sean's Mike's brother and Mike's girlfriend was sitting right there. And then, like, while we were talking to Joe, I don't know if you guys heard like a commotion out there.
Oh yeah, there was commotion.
There was a commotion, and I like.
Can you describe the ruckus? I heard a ruckus.
There was a ruckus, and I was like, Creer was talking. And I'm like trying not to be an asshole. I was like looking over there because I thought for a second that something was popping off out there, but it was just a lot of
pick up that camera and turn it, Kyle. If something like that happens, grab that camera.
I can do
you
that.
Better turn it that way.
The camera's mobile. You're right. But yeah, getting back to you, like this is a huge fight for you. This is your toughest opponent yet, right? Martin Brown was very tough. Your one loss is against Trey, and we all know how skilled he is, but James Lights Out Lilly, this dude is kind of like, the next best thing to the champ. I would say he 7-1 or something like that. Or 7-0,
7-0-1 or something.
7-0-1. Yeah, he don't lose, right? So Scott calls you up and he says, "Hey, I got a fight for you. You're fighting James Lights Out Lilly. If you say yes, what do you say?" How did that conversation go?
I told Scott when we first started, he was talking about they'll call me, I'll get a name, I'll call you. And I just told him to save a phone call, tell them I said, yeah, and then call me and tell me who it is.
Nice. Don't even bother asking.
Yeah, he just calls and say, hey, you got Lilly, this date, this time. And I said, okay.
I fucking love that, dude. I love that mentality that you have. And you always come in, like Mike said, when you came in there against Gabriel Fryer in Orlando, dude, you're always in like the best shape. You look like a fucking stone wall when you walk in there. I imagine you're going to do the same damn thing when you go in there this time. I'm assuming this is a title eliminator. Has that been announced? Are you looking at the winner of this getting a shot at Luis?
Yes, that's what I've been told, and the winner gets a shot.
And your fight with Martin was a title eliminator, right? So Trey got your title shot last time. This is your redemption song. You're gonna go in there against Lights Out and give him. And the plan is to give him his first L in Bareknuckle and get yourself to that title shot that you wanted all those months ago, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, yeah. I got a little sloppy in the Brown fight. Like I said, took that injury, and man, that's haunted me since. Like I said, that I missed out on that opportunity just a mistake, just long enough for him to land that shot that hurt me. I've been ready to get back in there and get my next shot, and I'm ready to get hold of Lily come next week.
Scott says it's the title eliminator, so dude, this is a very important, very, very important fight here. Does that like put that added extra pressure on you? Like, I got to get in there. This is another shot here. I'm moving up. Or is that just something you just push away and just say, you know what? It's just any fight. I'm going to go in there and do what I do.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, to be honest to you, just said that I hadn't really even thought about the pressure side of it. I just been, looking at the opponent, and it's just the fighter mentality. But like I said, I think I'm going to win every match I go in. Like I said, so I don't feel like I've got the pressure on me. Like I said, I feel like I'm going to win it.
Listen,
but I hadn't looked past him to Palomino yet. Like I said, that's really not even factored in.
Yeah,
Bobby, at 44 years old, nothing pressures you. You don't give a fuck. You're like, bro, I've been through it. I've done it all. You think you scare me, right? That's the mentality. Nothing scares me at this point. I'm a 44-year-old man who is in better shape than most of you fucking 22-year-olds. So if you guys think you can pressure me, fucking try, right? That's got to be the mentality.
No, it's got to be. Like I said, yeah, I'm coming to bring it, bring it right back. Let's do it.
How do you see the fight playing out between you and James? Technical, or you going to try to make this dirty with him? You're going to get in there and, get a little filthy with the guy?
I'm probably going to try to do a little bit of everything. Like I said, I don't want to tell too much of the gameplay in case they're watching. But
okay, you just got to implement.
Yeah, but like I said, I've been working on my boxing a lot. Like I said, I'm not going to go in there and look sloppy. Like I said, we're gonna make a good fight. But I think it'll go a few rounds. I'm looking to finish it in 3.
Out of there in 3, huh? Does Lily know you're trying to get it out of there in 3, or is he finding out right now?
He's probably finding it out right now. But
you don't text him and you go, hey, don't plan for a long night, buddy, because I'm trying to get you out of there in 3.
Well, yeah, I got asked that the other night by somebody. I said, what's your prediction? I said, well, I'm never going to say a draw, a decision or a loss. So I'm going to have to pick some round to knock him out in. So I'm picking 3.
There you go. Yeah, earlier in the show, we were talking to Joe, and I brought up a thing called MFOMS. Do you know what MFOMS is?
No.
Oh, it's motherfucking old man strength. Yeah, you possess that. You might not know that you possess that, but anybody over 40 that is an active male in this world has motherfucking old man strength. I don't know what the female equivalent is, but I can tell you right now, my dad is 65 years old. I'm 41, and I still feel like that man can fuck my ass up because he has like 25 years more of MFOMS than I have. So there you go. Do you believe? I mean, you got to believe you have a power advantage over James Lilly going in there, right?
Yeah, I believe I do. Like I said, I've watched some of his fights, and like I said, he's really good. Like I said, I'm taking nothing away from him as far as skill wise, but yeah, I don't believe he's got real knockout strength. And like I said, I think that my power is going to be quite a bit more than his.
I'll never forget the knockout you had on Ronnie Rogers with you hit him with like a fadeaway uppercut, and it sent him. He like went flying through the air like Brad Pitt and Snatch.
Yeah, no points of contact he had.
Yeah, his feet left the floor. He flew. Yeah. We heard bagpipes were playing. He landed in a puddle of water. It was fucking nuts.
Oh, it was
dude.
insane.
Yeah, that was one of the better highlight ones that I've had.
Yeah. It was something. It was something special. You know, a lot of people love to watch you fight in there. You always bring it. You always bring action. How were you feeling after that fight with Gabriel Fryer last time? Were you trying to get right back in there? Was it like no breaks? I trained hard for this one. It ended fairly easy for me. I would like to get back in there ASAP.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, as soon as that was over, I told Scott, I was ready to get back in because, like I said, I was healthy, no injuries. Like I said, didn't take a lot of damage.
Right.
And I had a cut over my eye, some stitches, and I was out for a couple of weeks, but nothing prolonged. But I tried to get back in there, as quick as we could get something round up with enough significance to, hopefully warrant a title shot afterwards.
That's what I love about this sport. I love about this sport in the company is like, if you come out there fairly, unscathed without any injuries, stitches heal in a couple of weeks. If you come out of there fairly untouched and you're willing to get right back in there, they'll book you. And I love that about this, about BKFC. They're not afraid to do it, especially guys that are exciting fighters like yourself. We're excited. It's next week. It's 8 days out from now. I know that you're in your final days of preparation here, so we're not going to keep you very long. Thank you for coming on short notice like we did. This is we started planning this live like yesterday, but
we had a different plan, but we're using the backup plan right now.
Right. So and it's funny because I forgot headphones. We had no lights. Mike brought an extra microphone, and we're like, "Fuck it, let's go to Best Buy and buy some shit," and then just set up a thing. And while we were at Best Buy getting lights and another set of headphones and whatnot, I'm messaging Scott and said, "Hey, we're gonna do a live in about an hour from now. So if you can line up some of your guys, that'd be super fucking cool."
Yeah, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just do it and put it out there.
Yeah.
I took off early today to finish up getting all my medical sent. He got a message saying anybody can go on a podcast. I was like,
I love it, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on. For sure. Hey, the ODB sweatshirt that you have on right there, is that available somewhere? Can people buy those?
Well, they actually they're out of Florida, the Beach Dirty. But they put a store online where everybody can order it, but they close it down before the fights to get everybody's shipments out, so they can wear them to the fights. It's not something that's open 24/7 or year round, whatever else you want to say.
All right,
it's just open during fight camps.
Is that a sponsor of yours? What is it called? Sir. Beach Dirty?
Beach Dirty.
Beach Dirty. Well, cool. Next time you get some shirts, get some fight shirts getting, created, let us know and we'll share the links out there because I would definitely get one of those things. That's cool as hell.
Okay, I'll do it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Now we'll give you a minute to shout some people out and say some final words and we'll let you get on your way, bud.
I just want to say thanks to Jim, UFM, and Tupelo for all the guys, helping me get ready and working with me. Goat Combat Agency and Scott for getting me on podcast and those great, opportunities that I'm getting with the BKFC. Thank them for, letting me fight. My sponsors, Beach Dirty, Movement Mortgage, Alliance Consumer Solutions, Crossroads Internet, and Unity Health and Wellness. And that's all I got. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but that's all
fine. You can never remember them all. You can never remember them all. You guys want to check out his sponsors, go to his page. I'm sure you can find him there. We appreciate you coming on. We can't wait to see it. Best of luck in your fight with James Lilly next week. Co-main event, right before Arnold Adams and Alan Belcher. What a freaking card you guys are on next week. We're excited for you. And thanks a lot for coming on. Mike, you got anything else for him?
Nah, man, I cannot wait for next week's fight. Like I said earlier, we got tomorrow and then we got next week. We're in like BKFC heaven right now. This BKFC is blowing the friggin' roof off the goddamn world right now.
Back-to-back big shows.
All right. Hey, one last thing with you, Bobby. We're going to do some rapid fire. This is just right off the cuff.
Oh, you thought you were out of here, huh?
I'll bet it's these.
This is it. Ready? All you got to do is tell me who's going to win this fight. Okay, ready? Jamie Hinshaw, Charissa Sagala.
Henshaw.
Austin Trout, Diego Sanchez.
Trout.
Dotson Grant.
That's a tough one.
Who you got?
I'll take Dotson.
Dotson. There you go. Yeah. And we'll go with the main event. Lorenzo Hunt and Mike Richmond. Who's ODB got in that one?
I actually like both guys, but if I had to pick, I would say Hunt.
Hunt. There you go. He said Hunt, Dotson. What'd you say? Trout.
Yep.
Trout and Hinshaw. There you go. There's your betting. There's your betting insider right there, guys. So put all your money on those, and if you lose, blame it on ODB. All right, brother. Thank you very much for coming on, and we'll let you get on your way. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Take it easy, man. We'll see you. Man, oh man, man.
Just blasting through these guests, man. This is very cool.
I just looked at my at my laptop and I went, oh my God, it's 4 p.m. We gotta fucking wrap this up.
Right.
Nope, actually it's 2.
It's 2 p.m. You know, that card next week,
PM.
Mike, this card is like really fucking good.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Dude,
it really is.
I mean, you got the main event. You got Arnold Adams and Alan Belcher. Of course, that's amazing. You got Bobby Taylor and James Lilly. That's amazing. Under the feature fight underneath them is Brad Kelly and Caleb Harris. Man, that's whoa, hey.
Hello.
Hey, there it is.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Then we talked to Joe Creer. Oh, I'm seeing Jared Kid Gotti Grant is working his way to the scales right now with HD Davis and Ryan Perez. They just walked by, so he should be weighing in soon.
Yes.
So see how that goes for him. We talked to his opponent yesterday, and I'll tell you, happiest people I've ever met in my life, those Dotson boys. Right, Mike?
Yeah, dude, they smile all the time. I wish I had all my teeth. I'd be smiling as much as they do. You know what I'm saying? But if I smile too big, you get to see the hole on the side. I think that shit taken care of.
Yeah, it's that's funny. No, man, but this card here, the top 3 fights are fantastic. But now that we know a little more about Joe Creer and we saw Duke Sensley fight, that should be fucking entertaining as hell. Brett Williams. It's great to see him back in there, but you got Andrew Angelcourt is getting back in there with Bosnick too. Yep. And then the 18-year-old, he might be 19 by now. He made his debut last year as Tyler Samus. Is it Tyler, right? Tyler Samus.
Yeah.
Samus is getting back in there.
He's got a National Geographic special coming out soon, right? That he's going to be a part of.
He's 19.
19 years old. Guy went in there and knocked somebody out who fell asleep standing at a 90-degree angle. So that doesn't happen often. I don't know many people who can sleep at a 90-degree.
Yeah. Well, he did it. He's a wizard, that kid. So we're looking forward to seeing how Cat 5 follows up his debut.
Yeah.
You know, he could be 2-0 before he hits 20 years old.
Yeah, it's quite a card.
Every time I see that dude, Sugar. I want to say Stugatz.
So who's that guy's name? Is it Stugatz?
The Stugatz.
So, something like that.
The Stugatz was the name of Tony Soprano's boat.
Oh,
taking the Stugatz out.
Boat, what would you name it?
What would I name it? Oh man, that's a great question.
Yeah, that should be a question we could add in somewhere.
What would you name it? If you had a boat,
God.
I would name it the Stunad 1.
And I'd have the Stunad too.
Yeah, Stunad 2. Yeah, just like Forrest Gump with Jenny and Jenny 1. We had 9 Jennies.
Yeah, good old Forrest.
Yeah, I thought Brad Kelly was going to be popping on here. I haven't seen him jump into the weight room yet.
Yeah.
And I thought we could grab some of these fighters, but you know what I was thinking of? When Noah came to sit down next to me?
Yeah, I already thought about this whole thing.
He can't hear.
Yeah,
won't be able to.
I shot you a text though. I'll put them with. They can come and sit here, and they could take this, and they can sit down. And
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I
Yeah.
thought about that when we were sitting here. I was like, well, we'll do this, and also we can invite them on the old phony poo. So I actually just invited myself on the phone here, and I could just join the StreamYard that way and sit back there maybe or something after I get somebody set up over here in the chair. Is there anyone in there with you now? Because there was a few people earlier, but I don't know if there's anyone out there.
Nobody's here right now, but dude, like literally, guys, like while we were talking to ODB, Chris Lytle came in, was standing right here. Noah Cutter, you saw, came in. Somebody else came through too. There's been like guys circulating in here, and I'm like, man, I should just get off the. I should get up and just let Chris sit down. They're like, oh, guys, I got to take a quick bathroom break.
The old Chris and Mike show.
The old Chris and Mike show. Yeah, dude. The media day yesterday. You guys, I hope you guys got to check that out. We got to do some Q&As with quite a few people, to include, both guys in the main event, Jared Grant and John Dotson, Jamie Hinshaw, Wildman Bridges got up there, Kevin Kroom got up there, but also the president, Dave Feldman got in there. And,
yep.
I knew that a lot of our audience are, big time Misfit Faria supporters. They love Christine, and there was a lot of fucking, pissed off people. Like they were like, why are they not promoting her fight? Why is she not on the card? Why are they just ignoring her? I don't think they were ignoring her at all. I think they were having issues with getting her opponent, Usanakorn, out of the country, like from Thailand to the United States, was a challenge. And it was inside of a month from, when they announced it to when she needed to be over here and ready to fight. And I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it was going to happen from Jump Street, and you guys can call my bluff on that, but anybody that knows me, and Mike can attest to this, I didn't think it was going to happen from day one, because it was too close to the actual date. And I'm like, I don't think they get her here. I just don't.
It would have been so tough to do. So tough to do. Why? Because he's a promoter.
Because he's a promoter.
That's why.
Yes.
That's why. Listen, like picture him being Dana White, because that's what he is, of BKFC Thailand. When you talk to these guys, you have to take everything with a grain of salt in a way, because they're trying to sell you the company. So in their best effort, in their mind, it's going to happen, because at that moment, they're making it happen. They're making it happen. So in their mind, they can't have the mindset like, this isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen, because then it isn't going to happen. So they have to have the mindset that we're going to have this fight. She's going to get here. We're having no issues so far. We're going to be there. Like, that's it. That's it. But if they say, I'm not sure if she's going to be there, so tune in, but we might not have her on the fight, then people will be like, I'm not even going to bother with this shit. What is that? He has to say she's going to be there and you guys are going to be happy. And then what happens is, there's a little rumbling when people notice, and then I think something comes out and it's changed. And now Christine's fighting Beck Rawlings, though.
Yeah.
So and fight that I think everyone really wants to see here. I don't care about Unicorn, not to be an asshole about it, but I really could care less about that fight. I wanted to see Christine, and no offense to Usanakorn, but when they named Usanakorn, I was like, who the heck is that? Usanakorn? Like, I don't know who the heck that is. And I freaking watch this shit all the time. So,
all right. So Jeff Bush in the comments, I seen a video that hinted it was because she was a dude. Now here's the thing. There was like a hour and a half long episode with the Fight Mixer guys that talked about that.
Bareknuckle's Most Wanted.
Bareknuckle's Most Wanted. They talked about that whole gender confusion thing and the transitioning thing and whatever. I think that did play a little bit of a part in it. And if you guys watched the media day thing, I asked David about it yesterday.
He kind of said that.
And he said between getting her here with visa, with the, getting the visa done, and also having to deal with all the questionable, what is her gender and all that stuff, it was better. It was a better move for them to just back the fuck off that. And he's like, we just don't need that we don't need any of them problems right now. We backed away from that. And we booked the fight that everybody's wanted to see for the last 4 years. And it's Beck Rollins and Christine Faria. And then I asked him, can you please make sense to all the people out there that, the ones on social media that, okay, getting a title fight off of a loss really makes sense. Well, you know what? Like Mike just said, they're promoters and they're trying to put on a great show for an audience that's going to pay to watch it.
Yeah.
And
they have to believe it's going to happen to make it happen.
Win or lose, Beck went 5 rounds with Britain, right? They went down to the wire. She took a loss, but she took a loss to a girl that went in her very next fight and won a world title. So she lost to a champion, right? She's a former champion, has 1 loss, and it is to somebody who is now holding a belt.
Yeah.
And if you look at that 125-pound women's division, there is nobody else that makes any sense. So the one that you could put at the top of the bill and draw an audience and generate some money over it, because that's what this is. This is a prize fighting game, and you have to make some money off of this thing. You can't just fucking book anyone. Beck Rollins and Christine Faria makes a ton of sense right now. And Beck's for it, Misfits for it, and now you have it.
I'm for it. I'm for it. I can't wait for that fight. I cannot wait. That card is it's been hinted to be pretty big, pretty damn big. I think it's going to be unbelievable. We know about Mike Perry. We don't know about who he's fighting, but we know that he is fighting. I don't know who else is in. So we don't even know about people.
I wish we could say some names right now, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
Who else they have actually said. So just know that April card might be the biggest one they ever put together.
Yeah.
I mean, probably is going to be the biggest one.
Yeah, it's crazy. Feldman talked about it on another podcast in the past too, that there's going to be a big ass card coming up. And man, I'm telling you, I cannot wait for this. This season. Okay. The season of Bareknuckle Fighting Championship is set to be the best season. And starting with, last month was great. South Carolina was awesome. But tomorrow night is going to be fantastic. And to be honest with you, tonight is going to be fantastic because in just a few hours, we're gonna grab all this stuff. We're gonna put all the tables back the way they were because we moved everything all around in the other room, but we were getting feedback through the microphone, so we were going crazy over here. And I was going crazy in my head. My head was almost exploding. And then we're gonna run over and start recording some interviews with people at the weigh-ins, which could get a little dicey there, especially for the main event face-off. That could get pretty crazy. And I don't know if some other people on the card have some animosity. Do you know anybody else on the card that might get in each other's faces or what? Lorenzo, get Lorenzo. What's he doing?
He just got in the elevator. He's going up to his room.
Oh, what the hell? I should run out there and see if I can find somebody here. I do have a couple of brand banners up here for Fight Week in the card and all that. If you want to chit chat, you want me to go see if there's someone over here I can grab? I'll put them in the hot seat.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll tell a couple stories while you're out
pull my ass.
All right. So Mike, Mike's gonna go grab some people. We got down here, right? So this is how the trip's been going so far. this guy over here, Mike. This guy can fall into what do they say? Fall in a puddle of shit and come out smelling like roses. First off, we get here and we go to the rental car place and we shoot. We're shooting the shit with the girl behind the desk, and we're talking about the event and. We got our bags and we got our equipment and stuff. And she's like, oh, well, we have you down for an Altima, but if you want, we can upgrade you. We're like, no, we don't really want to pay for an upgrade. She's like, don't worry about paying for it. So we got a full size pickup truck, full size cab. It's like a Nissan Frontier, but it's like a brand new Nissan Frontier with a full cab, so we could put shit in the back. We loaded people in the back seat and gave some people some rides around here last night. But then we get to the hotel, and I check in. I get my room, and I'm waiting for Mike, and Mike's talking to the lady, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?" I'm like, What's up? 10 minutes goes by. Like I'm over there talking to some fighters and some people in the waiting area, and I go finally. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I walk over and I'm like, Mike, what's up with your room, man? What's going on here? He's like, they double booked my room. He's like, so there's already somebody in my room right now. And I'm like, oh shit. So he goes, they're trying to figure something out for me. So they hook up Mike with like a presidential suite. This kid has a living room, like kitchen area. He's got 2 bathrooms, a wraparound couch, a king size bed. Talk about the luckiest fucker in the world, this guy. But anyways, yeah. So you guys can all bust Mike's balls about that. We're gonna have a guest come on here. He's jumping on right now. We're just gonna shoot the shit with them for a minute, and we're gonna see if he can help us break down a couple fights real quick, and see how he's feeling heading into these weigh-ins right here. Here we go. Chris, lights out, Lytle. If you want to come get closer to that microphone there, Chris.
How's that sound? Is that all right?
Yeah, you sound fine. Hey,
cool.
Thanks for jumping on here. We got the man himself, the legend, Chris Lights Out Lytle. You're gonna hear his voice tomorrow night, color commentating with his sidekick Sean Wheelock for one of the biggest events in the history of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Chris, what are you thinking about the atmosphere with the fighters out there during the weigh-ins right now, and how excited are you about these fights tomorrow night?
I mean, man, this is the biggest bare knuckle fight that's ever been put on so far. So the last 4 fights especially, I mean, the whole card is very good, but the last 4 fights, just huge. So, I mean, there's an energy here. I love coming to New Mexico because I don't know if it's just that, they have Jackson Wink and they've had a lot of great world champs come out of here, and they had a great boxing background. Or if it's just the fact they don't have any other professional sports. But, I mean, man, people are fired up about this. People are excited. We went out to eat today to breakfast, and we were going to give the waitress some tickets. She's like, oh, we got like 20 people coming. And I was like, oh, okay. So we didn't have to give them a tickets. They already had them bought. So unbelievable. The buzz is great over here. And I think people recognize this is the biggest fight that's ever been here.
No, yeah, like you just said, we've talked about the city of Albuquerque and fighting go hand in hand, and just like you said, we went to a Mexican restaurant. We're talking to the owner, and we're like, yeah, if you want to go check out the fights tomorrow night, we could do that. He's like, oh, 6 people from my kitchen already got, he's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So your whole kitchen staff's already going. If you want to go, we can hook you up. Nah, this is one of the best towns in America for fighting, and it's fantastic. Now, the one at the top of the bill, we talked about it a little earlier, but I want to get your take on this one. A lot of people look at it as like a David versus Goliath type thing. One guy too big for the other. I don't feel that way one bit. I feel like Mike Richmond is a stout 185, and he can hang with a guy bigger than him any day of the week. What are you thinking about how big this main event is, and the fact that these are two, they both have careers outside of bare knuckle, but they've really been making their name and becoming superstars in this sport, headlining this thing. What do you think about this?
I mean, just talking with Lorenzo, I know him, Elvin Brito, they're just the way that they've really taken this sport, dissected it, broken it down, and really this is what they do. They do a lot of little things inside that people don't understand, very intricate, and really break down bare knuckle. They've made this their own sport. So the success is not accidental. It's because of all the hard work and dedication they've been putting into it. And Mike Richmond just being a lighter guy coming up, just accurate, fast. I mean, he's tailor-made for this sport. So that's why this is a great fight. 2 of the best guys we have in the whole roster, best pound for pound. You can't ask for a better matchup. So as far as one being way too big, not in this sport. This isn't MMA where a guy can take you down, hold you down, put his weight on you. I guess you can if it's a lot of clinch. These guys don't clinch much. I don't see it being a clinch-heavy fight, so it's not about who's bigger. Both guys can hurt each other with punches. I promise you that. So throw that out the window. The size is not that big of a deal in my opinion.
Right. And like last fight for Mike Richmond was against Isaac Doolittle. What a hell of a fight it was. And it was a display of Mike Richmond that we hadn't seen before. We saw him actually in adversity, taking a ton of shots and a lot of damage, but we also learned that he can march through that damage, keep his composure in between rounds, and then go out and do his thing the night after, the next round. What did you take out of that Doolittle fight that makes you, think that Mike is, he could very well take this thing tomorrow?
Well, the main thing to me is, and I bring this up a lot in the broadcast, I talk a lot about, in order to be great at this sport, in my opinion, you need to be able to be a good hammer and a good nail. He proved he could be a good nail. I mean, because he proved the hammer before. I mean, this sport's easy when you're hitting people, knocking them out. But how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal when you get hurt, when you get knocked down? Can you get back up and finish the fight? And he proved he can't. I mean, Lorenzo, I don't know if he's proven that yet. I mean, he's usually the dominant fighter, so we haven't had to do too many times where he's been hurt and got back. So I think this will be great to see if he has that in him, So, I mean, we know Mike does. So, I mean, that's why that's another aspect of that is going to make this an entertaining fight.
It is. And we talked to Lorenzo right after that Mike Richmond Doolittle fight, and he had like the opposite view of things. He was like, you guys just saw what Doolittle did to him, and you think he can hang with me? Then he dropped that amazing line. I hope you all bet your houses on it, and you all end up homeless.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But I mean, that's a totally different style fight. I mean, everybody knows Doolittle's game is to bring you in close, wear you down, land some punches, and as he wore him down, as he hurt him, that even more impressive. He was able to be. Usually, when people are hurt and they're done, that's it. Richmond was able to come back. So totally different style of fight. I don't know. I'm not. This is not an easy fight to call, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you get to sit there ringside and call this. You got the best job in the world right now.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, but it like we could go through the whole thing, but we're not gonna do that. I don't want to take all your time here, but like the Austin Trout Diego Sanchez fight is such an interesting fight with such a technical, highly skilled boxer. Austin Trout, 36-5 boxer, former world champion, against the guy we all know is one of the toughest sons of bitches in the entire world. The guy will go walk through damage. He will get extremely dirty and bloody in every one of his fights, and he'll do whatever he needs to do to win in Diego Sanchez. How do you see this one playing out?
I mean, this is definitely just about distance, and if Diego Sanchez can get inside, if he can get inside, that's his world. I mean, I'm not thinking that Trout is going to have a good inside clinch game, so
right.
It's going to be very difficult for him if it gets inside. But the question is, can Diego Sanchez get it inside? I mean, Austin Trout, if you've watched him, phenomenal jab, light on his feet, hard to pin down, especially with this circular ring. He can just move the entire time. So it's going to be, what does Diego have? Can he push off the back foot and get inside and grab and clinch? And if he can do that, it could be an interesting fight. And if not, it could be, kind of a one-sided picking apart by Trout. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens if Diego get inside. It's going to be very interesting because Trout, it's like, taking a guy who's a fish out of water. Really, he's not going to really know what's going on at that aspect. He's going to be thinking, hey, you can't grab me like this. Yes, I can. I can do it, and I'm going to do it. So you got to be careful out there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So that's why we watch these fights, right?
Yeah, I love it. I want to see where Diego's at in his career at this point. He went through his Joshua Fabia, phase. He got out of that when he looked great in his last couple fights over at Eagle FC. I feel like the 2-minute round, the 5 2-minute rounds is like built for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can press the pedal to the floor right off the line and never turn back. And if he gets the clinch and he starts working those little uppercuts that we've always seen him do throughout his career, we'll see how it plays. And the last one I want to ask you about, this one has me like super interested to see how it goes, is Dotson and Grant. Dotson being, the big time MMA veteran. He's had a great MMA career. He's knocked out a lot of really big names in MMA. Then he came in here and he fought a fellow UFC fighter, also making his debut in that first fight. He came out on the winning end, quickly beat Ryan Benoit. This time he's stepping in there with a guy who is a very seasoned veteran in this sport. Even though he made his pro debut in this sport, he's stepping in there for the 7th time. You know what I mean? Ryan Grant has a ton. Jared Grant has a ton of experience in this sport. This is kind of his sport. Well, you know, so I wonder how that one goes. What are your thoughts on the Dotson Grant?
I mean, very interesting fight. Dotson had the best debut we've probably ever seen. Looked phenomenal. Against a high-level guy, just fast, accurate. The way he moves is unbelievable. So that those fast hands, that accuracy, it's going to be hard to deal with. But, I mean, Grant, you know, dropping down a weight class should be faster, should be even crisper. You know, the guy was undefeated for us and had his first loss. So let's see how he bounces back. I mean, you know, just the longer that fight goes, I think the better for Grant. And you know, if he can continue to, the guys who do good against Dotson kind of wear him down, take away that first round of explosiveness, slow him down a little bit, gives them a little bit better chance. So it's up to Jared Grant to kind of slow him down the first round. You know, don't get hit quite as much. So just play defensive and then really pick it up as the second, third, and fourth round come.
Super interesting. Great card. I'm going to let you go because I know you're a very busy man. Thank you very much for jumping on here. We always love catching up with you, Chris. You got the best job in the world, best seat in the house. I mean, we'll talk to you at the weigh-ins, all right?
Sounds good, guys.
Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you. There he is, man. Chris, lights out, Lytle. He, like, when I say this guy has the best job in the world, he has the best job in the world. He's one of those dudes that you can run into in the hotel lobby here and have a hour-long conversation with about anything. He's been there and done that in all walks of life. He's a full-time fireman. He's boxed. He had an amazing MMA career. The dude's just the man. So thank you very much to Chris Lights Out Lytle for jumping on here. Mike is still running around. Yeah, I would love to. We're gonna see if we can get a couple other people on here and then we'll wrap up this show here. We got the weigh-ins. Mess with Mish. You become a pasta. Yeah. I'm going to bring that up on the screen real quick. When we ran into Tony Loco Soto down in Myrtle Beach, he fucking dropped this line. He was like, mess with Mish, you become a pasta dish. The guy's a walking promo. We love you, Tony. All right, we got another guy coming on here. Let's bring him up here because myself and Chris, we're just talking about one of the most intriguing fights on the entire card is that Jared Grant versus John Dotson fight. We got a guy who's going to be in the corner of one of them fighters here. He is live in studio, and put that in quotations. He's in the other room. Here he is, Howard H.D. Davis. What's up, brother?
Guys? What's up?
Dude, what's going on, man? You just get in?
No, I was here since yesterday.
Yeah. So you're going to be in the corner of Jared Grant when he fights one of the biggest names of the biggest name of his career tomorrow night. We just had the weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Jared is dropping down to 125 from 135, and we have been seeing Jared put on some muscle and size lately. He's looking pretty stout.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
looking like a monster.
Are the weigh-ins all done? Is he getting his liquids in and getting some food in him now?
Yeah, everything is all done. You know, you're ready to let the beast off the leash. You know.
So let me ask you. Obviously, this is insider info, and you don't need to be exposing too much details about training camp or anything like that. But you've seen John Dotson. Dotson, and I bet you'll probably agree with me. He's one of the fastest fighters you'll ever see.
He's fucking electric. He's electric, bro.
Yeah, he never stops bouncing and never stops moving. He's fast as hell, and he generates an incredible amount of power through that little frame that he has. You know, he's 5'2" or whatever he is. He's 5'3", but somehow he throws like middleweight power when he hits.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about like speed and power matching up with Jared? Can Jared? I'm assuming Jared could match him in power, if not outpower him. But it's that speed thing. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think the power favors Jared. You know, the speed definitely might favor Dotson or whatever. But it depends on how you look at the fight. His speed comes from him coming forward, him jolting off that back leg, which can lead him into nasty counters. So at the end of the day, everything has its pros and cons. Jared is dropping a whole 10 pounds. He's going to be quicker and faster too. So nobody has ever seen him at 125. So you have to take into account that his power may decrease, but his speed is going to increase. So it's a toss up. You know, I definitely think this fight favors Jared. Depends on how it comes out style wise and how Jared approaches it and how his opponent approaches it. But I guess we're going to see it tomorrow night.
Do you remember? I know this line was not a Conor McGregor original, but Conor kind of made it famous. Precision beats power and timing beats speed.
Ooh, right there. Look,
That's what
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. We know how precise Jared is.
Jared
when he
is
throws
fucking accurate.
When he throws, he lands, and he lands on the spots that he wants to hit. So like that line right there, precision beats power, timing beats speed. That could very well be the dynamic of this fight tomorrow night.
They can, because just because you have speed is how you're using it. It's working in his favor against other fighters, but like I said, everything has its pros and cons. That speed can definitely be your downfall. You can run into some shit because you're moving way too fast. You know, you run into a power shot, a counter, because you're blitzing forward so much. That momentum that you're bringing and the momentum that he's bringing, you can get knocked the fuck out. So
right.
It can work in his favor too. He can frustrate Jared with his movement. He's a volume puncher, and like you said, it comes with power. It's not just little pity pats. He's coming with the speed and the volume. So, like I said, it's going to be a great fight. I feel like, you know.
What do you think went wrong in Jared's last fight against Red? Like, what do you think it was? Because Jared was not Jared in that fight.
I was just going to say that.
And we're not taking right. Well, that is not a shot at Reggie, because Reggie's great, and he's one of the best out there.
Of course, he is.
But the Jared Grant that we saw against Reggie Barnett, we had not seen that guy in the ring. He didn't look like himself. He didn't look like he was all the way there. What do you know that you could tell us about that?
Me fighting with Jared from the amateurs and everything, I really think it was a mental aspect of just he had his family out there, you know. Now he has a newborn, you know. This is a lot of stuff that was going on in his life, you know. As fighters, people forget that we're human, and it's not to make excuses or take anything away from Reggie, because Reggie fought his ass off. Great fight to Reggie, you know, skills, technique, movement, everything. He's a very accurate puncher too. So it's like Jared just wasn't Jared. The Jared we known, you know. I've seen him in amateurs boxing, you know, from the Bareknuckle to becoming the youngest champion BKFC history. That wasn't the same guy. You didn't see that dog, and you didn't see that, you know. Yeah, he took shots and he kept going, but you didn't see the forward aggression, the counters. You didn't. In certain shit you didn't see. He wasn't following up on shots. But Reggie even said out of his mouth, like, Jared hit him with I think it was a hook, and it dazed him. And if Jared would have followed up on it, you know, it could have been trouble for him. And Jared didn't follow up. Jared usually follows up. So he was just off his game a little, you know, and it happens. You know, we're fighters. We're still human. You know, we try to perfect everything, but sometimes outside forces, whether it be your family coming or you going through things or you're expecting a child, your head isn't always in the game. And, you know, that time it wasn't.
And Jared being the boxer that he is, and what he hit Reggie with, I'm going to guess without going back and looking, it was like a counter hook. Because
I think it was a counter. I remember just talking to Reggie. Reggie came back and even told Jared to his face, like, "Yo, fam, you hit me with some shit. If you would have followed that shit, you know, it would have been some shit. You know, you probably would have dropped me or something." But it just, you know, Jared just wasn't fully there, and sometimes we get in the way of our own selves a lot of time, you know. But again, kudos to Reggie. Reggie's a hell of a fighter. You know, we don't take nothing away from him. And just, you know, even you look at Jared, I look at Jared, people look outside like, who the fuck was that in the ring? You know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It didn't seem right that night at all.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comments, Big Ben in the comments, I think John runs into Grant's punches and it's over by the third. It could, like you said, John Dotson generates a lot of his offense off his back foot moving forward, and Jared being the skilled boxer that he is, he could run into a counter and end his night. Let's talk about you for a second here, dude. You're back. You're back. You're in Delray Beach.
Delray Beach.
This freaking card. I just pulled the card up and I'm like looking at it right now, and obviously, you know. This card, we'll talk about yours in a second, but he's on for anyone watching, like Howard's on a card with that win versus Strauss. Is it Daniel Strauss from Bellator? But you got Doolittle and Boswick. You got Townsell and Sorrow are finally fighting.
Lit card.
Rookie Randall versus Superfly Wilson. And Cutman G's back on there.
Oh, G, I didn't know G was sliding. Oh, let's go.
Gang. G's fighting Josh Ritchie on that card. Okay. But you're fighting a guy, this guy, I got to be honest, Trevor Morris. I have no idea who the hell this guy is.
Me either.
But he looks like he's out of, You know when they make prison movies and they have like gangs? This dude looks like he is picture perfect for like a role in like a Sons of Anarchy movie or something like it.
Truly.
What do you know about your opponent, Trevor Morris, and what can you tell us about this fight coming up?
Just like you, I'm kind of in a blank with him. You know, people send a contract to me, just like every other fight, whether it's Louis Lopez, Kai Stewart. I signed the contract. You know, I do my part, come out and fight. I train my ass off. So I look at a little film, see how he fights, because he's unknown to me, but I know he has an MMA background, and I've watched some of the stuff. I haven't watched all of it, but I'm just, you know, picking little stuff, and I'm definitely gonna come out different this time, because with Louis, I think because of also my layoff and just having that ring rust, I just was so anxious to get at him that I rushed things, and that's what led to my cut and a lot of stuff. So I put it on myself, and nothing my coach told me. My coach told me to stay back and box, and I feel like that's what I need to do, is just get back to my bread and butter and fight more like Jared. Jared, you know, was patient. He's always coming for it. For some reason, I feel like I need to always press the issue. Even with the Jimmy Rivera fight, I pressed the issue. He's a shorter guy. He's on the outside the whole fucking fight, and I'm chasing him down. I want to fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter before a boxer. You know, I started boxing late, but you know, my professional and amateur career is more so boxing. But it just, once I get in that fight mode, it's like sometimes I just like, fuck it. You know, I want this person to feel me, and they can hit me with whatever, and I'm just gonna like eat that shit. It's whatever. You know, we're gonna fight. So I had to get out of that mindset and just be more calm and, you know, pick my shots better. So I'm definitely gonna do that with this guy, because this guy's an MMA guy, and I'm sure that he wants to get inside the clinch. He wants to make it dirty. Yeah. Some of the fans may not like this style of HD, but it's going to be way more clean, and I'm trying to deliver a nasty knockout on the 17th.
Wow, I just pulled his record up. I wanted to see what his MMA career looked like, and he 7 fights, 5-2. And I was like, I wanted to see if he's a knockout guy. He's got more submissions than knockouts. So, like you said, he's going to want to get his hands on you, and he's going to want to grapple a little bit, because that's most likely where he's going to feel most safe. Yeah. And I was trying to pull up his size. Do you know what? Because he fought at 125 pounds in MMA.
Oh shit! I don't even know. I thought he was more of a bigger guy, because this crazy.
His picture. He looks bigger.
He looks big as hell. So I don't know how he made 125, because I damn sure not making that. So I don't know. But this is my lightweight debut. So we're fighting at 155.
Oh, this is 155.
Yeah, it's 155. So this is gonna be a crazy fight, because I get 10 more pounds and I'm not drained. I actually have my power,
dude,
and
nice.
it's gonna be like coming home. Let's just say that.
That's great to hear. I didn't know that this was that lightweight. That's awesome. Yeah. And question from the audience: do you want to run it back with Louis, or would you rather fight Kai Stewart?
I want Louis instead of this fight. You know why? Because people can say what they want to say. I'm not a sore loser. You know, I congratulated him after the fight right then and there, but just that
it was a doctor stop, right?
He got away with a early Christmas gift. Like, yo, I wasn't on my back. I wasn't dying. You know, I went to the corner. They stopped the blood. I've bled in almost all of my fights. Cuts happen. It's the way my skin is around my eye. It fucking happens. Like, I got stopped because a doctor came in to stop me. He didn't stop me. My hands wasn't fucked up. I wasn't tired. It's so annoying talking about it, because like I don't even want to talk about it. I just want him again. So when I get that chance to get him again, that's gonna be it. And yeah, certain shit he said to me, I hit him up. I'm like, you know, run that shit back. Because if I'd have beat him like that, I'd have run that shit back immediately. He told me to wait in line.
No,
dude told me to wait in line. Mind you, I didn't have to take the fight with him. I could have said no. I could have fought anybody, trash can, whatever. Kai Stewart backed out because he wanted a belt. Louis replaced him. Mind you, Louis just fought a few months ago and had his best win. He's on his hype train. I'm just coming off a 6-month layoff off of my first hand surgery.
Draw, right?
Off a draw and a hand surgery. You know, my hand was fucked up before the Jimmy fight. Got my hand fixed, and it's still not 100%. Went in there, still fought this dude. I didn't make no excuses. Still fought him. You can't give me a run back.
This is where
it sounds like you scared. Like you want to take your little win and how you classify your win and be happy about that, and, you know, go on about that business. But I'm gonna definitely see him again if they let me.
That is unfinished business for sure.
Unfinished
business. You got to run that back with Louis Lopez. You also, the Jimmy Rivera, man. Listen, Jimmy Rivera.
Jimmy's so cool though. Jimmy's so cool, bro. Oh my god,
he's great, and he's a great MMA fighter that came over and hung in there with you for 10 minutes. And this is where I wish they implemented that 6th round on all fights. Like this,
Look,
that would
look. I felt so good. I still had so much energy. I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking that we finna, I had a
right.
draw.
Don't you think that like because this is their own thing, they're building their own brand and they're building this sport basically brick by brick over the last 5 years. And you could tweak rules and you can make things better and whatever. You could add weight classes, take away weight classes. You could do whatever. They should make it to where there's no draws ever. No draws ever. Always a sudden death. And title fight should be 7. That's
that'd be dope because it'll show who's really training. It shows it'll show who's like, who's a real champion. Like, like how UFC guys 3 rounds and go to fucking 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you gotta really be bred different. And you guys have never seen me get tired. I'm there. Right. I'm awake. Cut, bleeding, eye closed. I'm awake. I'm there. I'm present. I'm not slacking around. I'm not stumbling. I'm there. I'm in the fight. So that's the problem with the Louis thing. That's why I get mad. I took way bigger shots in the Jimmy fight. I'm there. Louis didn't hit me not half as hard as Jimmy hit me. And Jimmy fucking probably blowed it up fucking 40 pounds after the win. He's probably 180. I'm fucking like 160. Took his shots. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, come on, bro. Like, I'm
surprised. I know that you had the hand injury after the Jimmy fight. I'm surprised if they were. I thought because your injury, they were going to wait for you to get healthy and they were going to run that one back with you too. But while you were out, I thought maybe Jimmy would fight again, but he hasn't fought again.
So. I'm sure he's gonna fight soon though. Trust me. I feel like something's on the horizon for him. Him and Chad Mendez, they both gearing up to get back inside the square circle.
So, all right. Well, hey, I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for popping on here. You're going to be in the corner with Jared tomorrow night, right?
Of course. When he gets that dub, I'm going to be there. Repping Slaughterhouse, guerrilla warfare. We here.
There you are. You are here. And I thank you for coming on. I'm going to let you get out of here and get back to your team. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Yo. All right, man. We got all kinds of options here. I don't know if I want to keep on going or I was hoping to get Brad Kelly to call in. He has not called in. I was hoping Arnold Adams would make a surprise. Thanks, Howard. But we got the weigh-ins coming up in a couple hours, and I want to get we got to do a few things before that. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, HD, for coming on. I'm going to bring Mike back on now. And what's up, Mike?
Hey. Yeah, I was running all around out there trying to get some people on. And, it's crazy because the weigh-ins happen. People weigh in. And as everyone who pays attention to combat sports knows, once the fighters weigh in, they want to eat and drink and nap and do whatever they got to do. So a lot of people are, they're tired and they're ready to nap to get to that weigh-ins in just a few hours. So they need to go pump up, You
gotta go pump up that Reebok.
Yep.
Time out. Remember,
like skeletons to just.
Oh, dude. And
Conor McGregor.
There seemed to be a couple guys here that were struggling a little bit with the weight cut.
I saw.
I'm not gonna say names, but there was a few people that looked like but like I said, you'll see them at the ceremonial weigh-ins later today, and they'll look like a whole new person. So, thank you guys for tuning in today. This is, if you guys want us to do a live from the events like this could be something that we could work out, and if we plan a little better, this was kind of like a fly by the seat of our pants type thing, and it seems to work out very nice. We had, I don't know how many freaking guests. It was like 5 or 6 guests come through.
Five guests.
Yeah. So,
actually 6 if you count Noah Cutter, right? He stopped in for a second. Hey, what's going on?
He said I gotta go get some food. So,
but you know what? Man. We'll do our little after-action review, Army style. We'll figure out what we need, what we didn't have, and then we'll get better at the scheduling the people. I think it can get really good the more we do this, and people will, hey, you weigh in. Maybe we'll start a little bit before the weigh-ins. That way, when they happen, as they're happening, people can just come in and say, "Oh, what's up?" and then get out of here and go eat. Or, I don't know. We got a lot of things to think about and talk about.
Yeah, we won't have, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we might not have this wood grain background at every place that we go to.
No, you guys.
This was majestic. It smells like rich mahogany in here.
Take it all in, my friends.
Yeah, man. So with that said, hey, why don't we just pop the card up real quick? We'll just go right through the banners right here, starting with the top of the card. You got there it is, man. You guys need to tune in a couple hours. The weigh-ins are coming up. You got the main event, Mike Richmond and Lorenzo Hunt. You got the co-main event, Austin Trout. We've been talking to Austin a lot. This dude is cool as hell. And
he is awesome.
He's awesome. He's a great dude, and I hope we have him on the show many, many times after. But Diego Sanchez, you guys had to hear him yesterday at the media day. What a crazy, dialed-in fucking maniac that dude is. I'm telling you, go on the app or wherever they were broadcasting at and watch and listen to him. He seems like he's in another world right now, ready to finally fight in a sport that he does not have to have gloves. He doesn't have to go 5 minutes. This is something that he feels like he was born for. And after he was done speaking to the media yesterday, there was people shadow boxing, hitting pads and everything. And he's over there on the concrete, just doing like knuckle push-ups and jumping up and down like a crazy person. And then he took off. That fight is going to be amazing. The one we've talked a lot about, I feel, today, John Dotson, Jared Grant. We'll see how Jared goes with the 125-pound cut against a guy with speed and power like the Magician. Man, I feel like that's the most intriguing one. I mean, obviously the main event's intriguing, right, Mike?
Yeah, it definitely is. But this is where Dodson we've only seen for seconds in the squared circle. Jared Grant we've seen a lot, so we know what Grant's done in the sport, former champion. We know what Dodson's done in MMA, but now we see these two worlds really combine. We see these two worlds collide, and man,
it's the contrast in styles, dude. It's the contrast in styles in this one and the Trout Diego one. It's like lifer MMA, successful MMA fighters against born and bred boxers. So this one's extremely important. Big Ben asks in the comments, question, has Diego showed up yet? Are you asking for for weigh-ins? I don't know. We've been live the entire time the weigh-in's been going on. Greg Hardy fighting Josh Watson. We got the big boys. One of those guys is going to touch the other one, and it's probably going to end. So don't close your eyes or go to the bathroom during that one. Will Santiago taking on Noah Cutter. We have talked about Noah and how win, lose, or draw, that kid's an exciting fighter, and he puts on a show every time for the fans. Looking forward to that one. Jamie Hinshaw fighting Charissa Sagala. Sagala's in 5-round bloody wars every time she goes in there. Hinshaw's been in there one time, and it didn't last a minute. She threw 114 punches in like 70 seconds or whatever the fuck it was. She's ready to go out there and live up to her Atom Bomb nickname again. She said she's going to be the first girl to she said I'll be the one to break that 5-round streak with Charissa when I asked her about it yesterday.
Yeah.
She's confident. So keep an eye on that one. This guy right here, Christian Torres, man. I believe he is earning everybody's the respect that I believe he already has earned. He has not gotten yet, at least not with the odds makers. He is I think he's like a plus 250 or plus 300 fucking underdog in this one. And I really feel like after we talked to Josh Moreno on the last fight, which he looked great in Albuquerque last time we were here. After that fight, if you guys go back to our post-fight interview with Josh Moreno, he said he wasn't even sure if he wanted to continue fighting. He's like, I wasn't fighting, and I was pretty much done fighting, and then I got this offer, and I was like, you know what? I'll take the opportunity. I'll go try it out. He said he had a blast. He loved doing it, but at that moment in time, he was like, this was a experiment for me, and I loved it. I'm not sure if I'll be back, but we'll see. This could be it. So at that point, we didn't even know if we were ever going to see Josh Moreno again. And now he's fighting Christian Torres, who's been looking great in his last couple fights. That one's very interesting. Slick Cito, he's coming in here, fighting a guy Nick Saint Nick.
That's right.
Saint Nick versus Slick, man. We got Saint Nick versus Slick at we'll see how Cito does following up his debut against a very seasoned veteran in Nick Gonzalez, who's a Jackson Wink fighter. Tons of experience on the Gonzalez side of the ring. Cito coming from an amateur boxing background and a very successful, amateur boxer. He's got one pro fight and it's in BKFC and he did look good in it, but we'll see how his follow-up performance is. And then the last one we got here is Chevy Bridges and Kevin Kroom. This is the one that's going to kick off the main card.
Yeah, man. It's going to be incredible. This fight is, I don't know if it's going to be long or fat. Like, I cannot figure this one out. Is it just going to be crazy fast, or I know it's going to be fast paced, but is it going to end quick, or is it going to go all the way? Because these guys are,
they're both crazy. They're both crazy people.
Yeah.
They're neither one of those guys are going in there to try to sit back. And they're not trying to sit back and fight a technical fucking beauty. You know what I mean? They're not trying to paint a masterpiece of technical fucking boxing when they go in there. One of them's named Crash and the other one's named Wild Man, and they have those nicknames for a reason.
Yeah.
Look for those two guys to come off the line and stop going forward at each other. Yeah, and gently touch tips.
Yes,
they're going to toe the line on the main card. They're going to kick off the main card, and I am telling you, man, the BKFC matchmakers, when they were putting this fight card together, they absolutely knew what they were doing, putting that one as the kickoff for the main card.
Yeah,
they knew.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That has fireworks written all over it. I don't know who wins that one, but it's going to be between two fucking savages. So looking forward to it, man. We've been on here for 2 hours now, and I feel like we need to wrap it up because we got shit to do.
Yeah, I think so. So there's the full card. A couple of fights we didn't really talk about too much. Some we talked about more, but you guys get it. There is a fight.
We didn't even mention Dotson's brother.
Eric is fighting. There's just Eric's a lot going on. There's a few people we don't really know that well, but we'll get to know them because they'll be at the weigh-ins in a couple hours when we're there. They will get interviews with them tonight. We'll do some things. We'll put some videos out. Then, of course, after the fights, we'll get a ton. And throughout all of next week and next weekend, we'll be releasing those videos as usual. Make sure you guys go and get the app. It's now $7.99 a month unless you were grandfathered in, or $50 still, $50 for the year. Sign up. Watch all these fights. It's going to be incredible. Everybody knows it. It's the fastest growing sport on the planet for a reason. It is the best combat sport, and this is what the schedule is looking like.
And what Mike did not say right there, and I really want to, please, guys, do us a favor and help us out. If you go to our link tree in our Instagram, our link tree on our Instagram, the top selection is our referral code for that app. So if you guys don't have the app yet, you're maybe possibly up for student out of the week. But if you don't, go to our link tree, use the app. Use the link in the link tree and get the app through that using our shit here. There's your schedule. We got to get over to the weigh-in. So thank you guys all for tuning in today. We had a good audience today. We had great guests today. Good conversation.
I got another guest. Look at this guy. Just roll in real quick and just wave and say hello.
Oh, there he is. The man himself, DJ Tony in the house. The man who is always spinning wheels of steel. The ones and twos, the wheels of steel. And keeping the crowd entertained at all of these events. He also has himself a podcast as well, Tuesday nights. It is, what is it called again?
Face Off Radio.
Sorry, it was Tough Talk before. I forgot what the fuck they changed it to. Tough Talk Radio. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a dickhead because I forgot what the original.
Listen, he's got the beautiful and incredible Amber
Face Off Radio. Yep. Yeah, him and Amber doing their thing. It's the TNA show, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Guys. Last but not least, shout out to all of our sponsors that make all these trips worth it and worthwhile. I mean, they make it possible for us to go do these things at all these events. We got Condemned Labz. Go to condemnedlabs.com and get some awesome products to get yourself jacked and in the best shape of your life. Of course, we will have more to read on them in a little bit. Bareknuckle corn snacks. I'm telling you, go follow them on Instagram. Hit the link in their Instagram to their page and look at the selection of flavors that they have. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, popcorn lover's dream.
It really is. They got every flavor you freaking think of over there. And then our last new sponsor is BKBetShark. Go to @BKBetShark on Instagram. Follow his tutelage on putting money down on some of these fights and maybe win yourself some money. And of course, we got GuerrillaWarfareApparel.com. The Guerrilla Warfare Apparel has always been taking care of us for months and months now. Use promo code Mike and Mish, get 15% off your purchase. And Norcom Mortgage, the best mortgage brokers in the country. And he just happens to be my cousin Mike, top 1%er. He's licensed in 38 states. So if you need to refinance your home or get a loan or whatever, purchase a home, hit up Norcom Mortgage. All those sponsors' information is in the description below this video. Hit them up. Tell them we sent you. With that said, Mike, what do you got to say to these peeps before we get the hell out of here?
You better be watching the weigh-ins tonight. There's a fan expo going on. If you're around town, you better be over there. Weigh-ins, and then tomorrow, Knucklemania 3. I cannot wait.
Enough's enough. Peace.
Peace.